All right, and welcome back to another episode of the Perspective Podcast Sports Edition. Tonight with my good co-host Tevin. What's goody? How you feeling?
I'm good. I'm good. Things looking on the up and up. I'm good.
I know that's right. How that weather looking out there? I heard it's rough, man.
Yeah, it's been bad. Been raining all day out here. I'm in Lafayette right now. They moved from BR, so I'm out here for the summer. So yeah, it's been bad out here. Shoot, of course, Lake Charles. I think they got some more flooding.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. But I mean, it's gonna lighten up though. But right now, it's kind of shaky. But it'll get better.
Yeah, most definitely. Prayers for Lake Charles, man. They going through it once again, like Hurricane Laura, Hurricane Delta, the ice storm we all dealt with in the South, especially us in the South in February. So Lake Charles back underwater again. So prayers for them, for all the good folks out there in Lake Charles, and hopefully, things kind of get back to normal pretty soon. So on this edition of the Perspective Podcast Sports Edition, it's the regular season, into the regular season of the NBA, the wrap up here. So tomorrow night, we're recording this on May 17th. The play-in games start tomorrow night, the 18th. But first, we're just going to kind of rewind just a little bit, and we're going to first talk about the Hall of Fame class that was all inducted over the weekend. This Hall of Fame class was headlined by, of course, the late great Kobe Bryant, Kevin Garnett, Tim Duncan, Tamika Catchings, Kim Mulkey, and Barbara Stevens. And so just your first initial thoughts. Did you what are some of your thoughts of the those inductees, starting with Kobe?
Of course, Kobe was the head. R.I.P. to Kobe. He was the headliner. Everybody was, waiting for that speech, but he didn't get to give it with Vanessa. I didn't get to see it. I didn't get to see her speech, but I heard she did a pretty good job, and her and Mike with Kobe part. I was very interested in learning about Tim Duncan. I didn't know that much about him. I didn't know he started hooping when he was 14. I forgot that he was born overseas. So
Yeah.
That was good to hear him finally talk and speak, since he didn't never say nothing. And showed a different side of him. KG always came, gave homage to the people before him, just with that passion he played, told us where he got it from. And Tamika, for the women, repping, she one of the best women to ever play. So that was good to see her finally getting in. And it was a good Hall of Fame class, with them three headlining it as far as the NBA players, probably what you could say that's the best Hall of Fame player ever. You got three of the top 20, 25 players ever going in at one time. So man, it was a good day for the NBA, man.
And you have cornerstones from dynasties in this class, like Kobe's Laker teams, early 2000s, or his episode with Powell, like dynasty group team. We all know the Spurs dynasty run pretty much ever since Tim Duncan got there. So it's been a winning franchise ever since the late 90s.
I want to say them three players won 7 of the 10 championships from like 2000 to 2010. Yeah, I think it was only 3 other teams that probably snuck one in there during that time.
Just that Pistons team. Just the Pistons and the Mavericks.
The Pistons, Mavericks, and the Heat. The only 3 teams that snuck one in there during all that time. And them 3 players was like dominated that era.
And yeah, especially that decade from 2000 up to 2010, like pre-super team NBA. So definitely salute to those players. And for the people that are wondering, Tamika Catchings, she is a 10-time WNBA All-Star, 4-time gold medalist. Kim Mulkey of the Baylor Bears, she is a 3-time NCAA Women's Champion, won with the Baylor Bears in 2005, 2012, 2019. And Barbara Stevens, she is a historic coach, one of 5 female coaches to get to 1,000 wins in the women's game. So salute to those Hall of Fame inductees. And so then that would bring us to the nominees for the 21 class. First, we'll start with the GOAT, just outside of basketball, like the greatness that this man just has lived and is still living. Bill Russell, he's going in as a coach. Then followed by some other players. Chris Bosh, we all know his career was cut short due to the blood clots he had with the Heat. Paul Pierce is on there. Everybody knows the hate that I have for Paul Pierce. I feel like he's like the most unathletic all-star of all time, but we're going to give him flowers today as he's going into the Hall of Fame. So salute to Paul Pierce. Ben Wallace, he's on that list. I would never go in the paint if I was a guard and Ben Wallace was down there. I'd never do it. If you don't know who Ben Wallace is, do your Googles, children. Rick Alderman, the coach. Jay Wright from Villanova. Yolanda Griffith. Lauren Jackson, and one of a Chicago Bull going in for his international play and NBA play, Tony Kukoc. So salute to all those nominees. And also I feel like I'm missing Chris Webber. And Chris Webber.
Oh yeah, one of the main people who should have been in.
Yeah, Chris Webber. I almost missed his name right here on the list, but Chris Webber's also going in, and so that seems like another strong class too, right?
Yeah, especially C. Webb should have been got in my opinion, because during that 2000s, he was one of them top 5 power forwards that you had at the time, and he just couldn't get to that finals level. But when you look at it, everywhere he went to, the team got better. Once he got to Washington, they got to the playoffs. Once he got to the Kings, they got to the playoffs. Once he got to Philly,
yeah.
they was in the playoffs. Even in Detroit, they made it to the conference final. So everywhere he got to, the team got better. And just him as an individual basketball player, he was so underrated as a passer. And he'll still give you 20 and 10 a game, but he can still throw five assists in there. So, yes, a good, strong class. Paul Pierce got in, one of the best bucket getters of his generation. He was unathletic because of that. Remember, before he got stabbed up, he was flying through there and he was dunking and everything too.
Yeah, Paul did get.
Yeah, but he came back from that and then he just elevated his game, took it to a whole nother level, and then became one of the top 20 scorers of all time in NBA history. Yeah. So and then for the women, I gotta rep Lauren Jackson. I watched a lot of WNBA growing up, and she was a dog. So that's good that she getting in. She was, I think, a 3-time MVP with us in Seattle. She was doing her thing. She was pretty much like they dirt over there with the inside-outside game. So kudos to her and everybody else that made it. And of course, Rick Adelman, the Trailblazers coach, got in there. So that's good.
I remember Rick from his days with the Kings, with those Chris Webber teams, and they ran into the Lakers early 2000s, and the ref that was cheating.
Yeah,
the ref that was cheating and doing all that crazy stuff. So who knows? Maybe the Kings would have one, but Rick Allen may have one. But I guess we'll never know. But salute to that class, to those nominees in the 2021 nominees, and those women and men that are going in, and salute to the 2020 Hall of Fame class. As we know, 2020 was not even a little, but it was all the way weird. And I'm just glad we're on the other side of it now. We're getting back to somewhat of a normal life, if you will. And so from the Hall of Fame class, we go to the playoff teams that have secured a spot in this playoff. And the playoffs, it's a little different this year. You might as well say if you don't have a top 6 seed, then you're not really in the playoffs at all. I don't even know. I guess we'll get to the play-in rules in a second. But the top 6 teams, we'll start with the Western Conference first. T, I'll let you go ahead and take that one. What we got? Top 6 in the West.
So of course the number 1 seed is Utah this year at 52-20. Then at second, you coming in with the Phoenix Suns. Chris Paul and turned them around. 3, you got Denver. 4, the Clippers. 5, Dallas, and then of course 6, Portland. We up in there, got to secure us a spot. You know how we do.
Y'all did y'all thing. Y'all beat the brakes off boys down the stretch.
Y'all. We had to. We ain't trying to play the Lakers.
Thanks. Y'all changed the Nuggets breaks the other night. Y'all played a tough game against. Was that one Phoenix? Y'all played Saturday night. It was like Thursday or Friday. Y'all had a really really tough game. But y'all pulled that one off too. I think that was against Utah.
Was it? It was because Donovan didn't play.
Yeah,
it was Utah.
Yeah, so y'all definitely had some big games down the stretch, and the Blazers came up clutch. They did what they had to do, and they definitely locked up one of those top six seeds in the West, which the West has always been tough. Chris Paul said this the other night, and it's just kind of a reminder. The West, it's always been tough, but this year it seems like it's like deeper than ever. You know what I mean? So,
right.
Salute to those six that got in. And for the Eastern Conference, we got the number 1 seed, Philly, holding down the Nets, Brooklyn Nets. I'm still getting used to saying Brooklyn Nets at number 2. The Bucks at number 3. The Knicks at number 4, and they finished over 500. The Hawks at number 5, they finished over 500, and the Miami Heat finished at number 6, over 500 as well. And so, well, out of the teams in the West, are you concerned with any of those teams out there in the West? Like, does anybody look like a sleeper to you? Anybody look like they could kind of catch anybody slipping?
The only team I feel like could catch somebody slipping is Portland, only because of the firepower they got offensively. Because apart from that, out of Utah, I still can't bring myself to believe in. I don't know why, but I just think that matchups make series, and I think that Gobert matchup with certain teams, he can get exposed. Yep. And plus, if Donovan ain't scoring, I mean, ain't too many people on their team to get their own bucket. So that's my major concern with them. The Clippers, I feel like they're gonna fall back into that trap of, that ISO ball, because I don't see down the stretch they always fall back into the same habits every single year. And then Denver, of course, Murray's hurt, so they're kind of weak right now. Dallas, they be up and down, so you never know what you're gonna get with them. And Phoenix, it's a good story. I just think that I don't think that this is their first time. Besides Chris Paul, this is pretty much everybody's first time besides him and Jay Crowder. So I don't think they're ready yet. I think they're poised to be upset in the first round, depending on who they play, especially if they play like the Lakers, just matchup wise. Golden State, they probably still can beat Golden State because of they really just have Steph, and that's all they got.
Thanks.
But
Steph and the homies.
And I don't think he can do that for 7 games, like dominate that way. But who knows? But Portland is my we the sleepers, of course, like always. And but I'm still picking the Lakers to get out of the West, even though they ain't even in the playoffs yet. But healthy, I got them.
That's a fact. Yeah, over there in the Western Conference, it's just I got Portland is my sleeper. And I think that I wouldn't even call them necessarily like a sleeper. I would just really just say, they're just a good team, and the bracket falls right for them. I could see a Lakers Blazers like matchup if the bracket falls correctly, but so much is still up in the air. You know what I mean? So, but right. We'll see. We'll definitely see how it shakes out. And over there in the East, I don't believe in Milwaukee. Never have, never will. Let's go ahead and get that out the way first. The Hawks, they're in the same boat as what you say with the Suns. They need some more like battle wounds, battle scars. And then I think maybe down the line, they'll be like a team of the future. The Knicks, good story. I think they do get out the first round as they'll play the Hawks. So that'll be an interesting like second round matchup, whoever the Knicks get, because boy, the Knicks play you like it's concrete. It's right. like grown man fouls, no blood, no foul. Like I just love what the Knicks do have going on. So the Knicks ought to be a fun watch. I'm not sleeping on the Heat, and we're gonna recall back something that you said. I brought up the point that Vic Oladipo got traded there. You weren't big on it at all. Like early last week, it got news that he's out for the rest of the year. He has to have quad surgery, so he's gonna miss the rest of the season. So Vic will be back sometime next year with whatever team, because he's a free agent at the end of the season. So, but I'm still rolling with the Heat, because the Heat and the Knicks, they're really, really similar to me. Like how they play you physical, they play you tough. They going from jump ball to zeros on the clock. Like they're gonna play you hard. And Jimmy Butler that's one of my favorite players in the league. So I can see him. I can see them punking a couple teams, like especially if they get Milwaukee. Like they gonna punk them again. So
if you watch how Giannis been playing lately, though, he's been playing more like a center now. Like he's been getting shots way closer to the goal and more playing more around the goal. So I'm interested in what it's gonna look like against Bam. Because if he can get Bam in foul trouble, then that's it. Like that's the main thing they want to do is get Bam out that paint. Because once he come out, then that center position get real weak for the Heat, and Giannis gonna take advantage of whoever that is. So that's their main thing is trying to get Bam out the game. Because if they can do that, then I think they'll beat them. But if they can't, then I'm going with Miami because I think guard wise, they might be better as a unit, even though they got Holiday and Middleton for Milwaukee. I think as a whole entire because Miami throw out like 4 or 5 different guards. You never know who's gonna get hot one night.
Right.
It'd be Hero. Then they'll throw in you forgot
Dragic, Dunn,
Jimmy. Dunn can give you 20. Robinson might hit 6 threes one game, so you never know. So that's gonna be one of the real. All the ones in the East, I feel like gonna be real good first round matchups.
Yeah, Eastern Conference is definitely looking really really bright here. So, I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see how it all shakes out in the Eastern Conference. But I'm definitely looking forward to what they have going on over there. And so then that brings us to the play-in scenario. And so for the second time, we are in the play-in scenario. And so what exactly is the play-in scenario, you ask? The play-in scenario, it is, all right. And there will be a total of 6 games involving 8 teams as part of the play-in tournament, split up in between the 2 conferences. The teams that finish 1 through 6 in each conference that we just went over will be guaranteed playoff spots, while teams 7 through 10 in the standings will enter the play-in. Any team worse than number 10, they'll enter the draft lottery. So, game number 1. The game number 1, it is the we have the number 7 team in the standings by winning percentage will host the number 8 team, with the winner earning the 7th seed in the playoffs. The losing team gets another chance in game number 3. Game number 2, the number 9 team will host the number 10 team, with the winner moving on to game 3. The loser is eliminated and goes to the draft lottery. Game 3, the loser of the number 7 versus 8 matchup will host the winner of the 9 versus 10 matchup, with the victor grabbing the number 8 seed in the postseason. The loser goes off. You start your offseason draft lottery time for that team. I know that was a lot to digest because that was a confusing read as well. But so how you feeling about this play-in scenario? This what we got here this year.
At first, I didn't like it because I'm like, it's always gonna feel like a team that feel like they got left out. So I was like, I didn't care too much for it, but it also had like because people usually during the NBA playoffs they try to more people tune in to when it gets closer to like conference finals and of course the NBA finals. But this kind of brings back a little bit of that early suspense in early June and early May and June instead of waiting until the finals come around. And I think the matchups are the ones that playing, they're pretty even for the most part, in my opinion, of the teams that are playing against each other. So I'm gonna be watching it, and it also don't bring out the best in a lot of people because you get if you're in that 7-8 game, you get 1 game, so you got to shine. If you're in the 9-10 game, you get 1 game, maybe 2. So you got to bring your A game for these next few days if you're trying to get into the playoffs. And I'm ready for it.
Yeah, if you really want it, you gotta show it. You gotta show it here. You know what I'm saying? And so those matchups, they go well. They kind of circle back first. I did see a lot of, and I wouldn't be mad if the NBA did a play-in scenario. If it's like, what was that year that it was some teams that finished with the same winning same record or something like that. I think it was in the West or the East. That might have been about a year or
Yeah,
two ago.
I think it was the West. I think it was like 3 teams that almost had like the same record.
Yeah. And so if something like that happens, I'm cool with the play-in scenario. And I don't think it should be 7 through 10. I'm cool with like 8 through 11 or something like that. I guess, just however it would make sense. But maybe the number 7 shouldn't really be there unless it's like the record is like super close. But other than that, because, of course, we saw LeBron's comments about it. He said that whoever came up with this should be fired. It's kind of convenient, but
right. And now he's the star of it.
Exactly.
How stuff circles back around.
Exactly. Braun wasn't a fan of it. Luka wasn't a fan of it. Mark Cuban wasn't a fan of it. Those are all teams that are either fighting to stay there. So
at the end of the day, it's a money play, but still, like, I mean, it is what it is. Y'all gotta go. Just go out there and hoop, and you'll be all right. It's
just convenient how like those people that were like complaining about like the play-in situations, either they barely avoided it or they just like, or they are in the scenario. So of course you don't like it whenever you're in the situation, but it is what it is. Lakers are in the play-in situation, so you gotta do it. So just think about this though, right? Before we get into those matchups. This is year 3 of Braun being in LA. He's missed the playoffs, won a championship. He's in a play-in situation. If he does not make it to the playoffs, how would you judge his Lakers career like through those three seasons there? His Lakers career.
The first year, I really don't count the first year just because he got hurt and was hurt for so long.
He did get hurt on Christmas.
Yeah, so to me, I don't count that. I don't even pay attention to that one. And then this year, I mean, he was hurt again. So it's just showing that he's aging and he's not the same 20-something-year-old LeBron that we used to seeing. And it's just natural that the older you get, the more susceptible you are to injuries. So I feel like he came to LA and he's already done what he set out to do, which was, make him relevant again, keep the championship thing alive, and he did that last year. So I mean, for me, he pretty much did what he wanted to accomplish. So I don't look at it that much. I just take it for what it is now. Like, I'm just enjoying the last few years we're gonna have with this man's greatness to witness. So I think no matter what happens after this, it's gonna be a success. He already got his ring. He already got his Finals MVP. Yep. Anything else is just icing on top of the cake, and he's just he really just playing to get that record to be the all-time leading scorer, which I don't blame him. I mean, that's the only thing he really got left to accomplish. But as far as individual accomplishments, that's the only thing he really wants to do. So just let him go for that and just take it as what it is right now. And just we're witnessing the end of one of the 3, and you got to say at least one of the 3 greatest players of all time.
Yeah. That's a fact. I saw this narrative going around online. There was like, oh, if he doesn't even reach the playoffs this year, it's a complete failure. Like da. It's like, come on, bro. Like, year 1, he got hurt on Christmas, which is about 2.5 months into the season, and he was playing with dudes he didn't want to play with. Like, so he overhauled the entire roster a couple months later.
Got a whole new roster and a new coach.
Yeah, and a new coach. You ain't lying. And a new GM. Magic ended up stepping down. Like, everybody left the building. Like, so I think it would still be a success for Braun. I mean, it's LA. Of course, the camera is zoomed in on them and everything that they got going on, especially with Clippers supposed to have a thing going on. But at the end of the day, it's still a Laker town. So off of Braun and off of the plan, his specific part of the plan, the Eastern Conference plan, the group of 4 teams, it's Celtics 7, Wizards 8. I'm surprised the Wizards actually made it, but they did. Right. They came on late. Celtics 7, Wizards 8, Pacers 10, Pacers 9, Hornets 10. So in the Eastern Conference, we have the Eastern play-in that actually starts tomorrow night, the 18th, and that would start with the Hornets at the Pacers and the Wizards at the Celtics. So what are your thoughts about those first two games coming up tomorrow night?
My opinion is, I think, well, I want Charlotte to win. I think the NBA wants Charlotte to win, all because LaMelo and what he brings to the game, the excitement that would bring, and all the interest that'll bring to Charlotte making the playoffs.
Yeah.
So I think they're gonna pull it off. I think just for one game they can get it. Well, no, they'll have to win two. So I think they'll beat Indiana. I don't think Indiana has the firepower to keep up with them offensively. They play good defense, but I don't think they have the scoring to keep up. And then with the Boston and Washington Wizards, it makes it interesting because Jaylen Brown is gone.
My guy.
If they had Jaylen, I would pick Boston. Mm-hmm. So this is going to show you how you're going to really get to see what Tatum made out of, and what Brad can come up with to stop Westbrook and Bradley. Because Westbrook been going off with some triple doubles.
You're going to have to see that man. You're going to have to see that man.
And if Bill plays, which I'm pretty sure he's going to play, he's averaging 30. So somebody got to guard him, which is most likely going to be Marcus Smart. So that game going to come down to who superstars can rise the highest. Is either Kemba and Jason, or is it going to be Russ and Bradley? So that's two good matchups, and I'm looking forward to seeing them tomorrow.
Over under on the amount of technicals that we're going to get in this game between Marcus Smart, Russ, like over under, like just throwing them out there. Like I'm a roll with.
I'm gonna go under because the number is, I'll say 2. But I'm gonna go under. Right. I think one of them will get one.
Yeah, I think Smart gets teed up. I think he gets teed up for sure. Right? So I'm rolling the same. I don't think the Pacers have enough firepower at all to keep up with the Hornets. I also believe that if the Hornets do get into the playoff, this solidifies LaMelo Ball as Rookie of the Year. Especially if he has, monster games, like just good games overall. I think this solidifies his Rookie of the Year. I was rolling with Halliburton. He got hurt late down the stretch. So, and came back, and you saw Charlotte started to fall out the sky whenever he got hurt, whenever LaMelo got hurt. He's back in. He's kind of getting his footing and whatnot back, but he's getting back on track. So I'm rolling with Charlotte in that one. The 8 versus 7, Wiz versus Celtics. Similar once again, if Jaylen Brown was and that was a freak accident that like they got hurt on, right? Like
just ran into each other.
Yeah, they ran into each other, and like both of them had lower body injuries, but Jaylen ended up tearing something in his wrist, which is nuts. Like,
right.
But if Jaylen was playing, I would roll with the C's. But I'm rolling with the Wizards. Like, you're gonna have to see Mr. Triple Double. Like, you're gonna have to. Like, you have to see Russ one game. Everything on the table, I'm rolling with Russ. Like he's shown me what Russ does whenever it's time. So
I ain't picking up. I ain't picking nobody. I'm going with Boston. I think Jason. I'm going with Jason. I'm going with Jason.
Last time I did this, and I said that like Jason wasn't like he wasn't that to me. The next later on that week he gave me 60 points. So hopefully I'm wrong on this one, but if Jason Tatum does it again, then I might have to really just get that man his flowers and get off that man neck. So.
I'm going with them because I don't know how hurt Bill really is. I don't know how healthy Bill really is, so that's why I'm going with. That's why I'm just going to pick the Celtics because Bill's health is he missed the last 2 games, and a thigh injury that's kind of serious. You don't want to mess with it, so I'm rolling with the Celtics.
Yeah, most definitely. And so, do you think the coach of the loser, they have to get out of town, right? Like Scott Brooks is either time to go or Brad Stevens, it's time to go.
As long as Westbrook is there, Scott Brooks gonna be there for Washington. Brad Stevens, he should be looking for work elsewhere because colleges is calling, and next year might be his if he keeps his job, next year might be the last year if they don't get back to the conference final, because I think they're regressing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they're not progressing, but either progressing or you regressing, but they're kind of and they're not progressing. So I feel like he gonna be next year might be his last year, because them colleges calling and they offering the big bags for him. Yeah. And that's where he really belongs, honestly.
I always thought that he was going to be Coach K's replacement at Duke. Whenever Coach K hangs it up, that's just, I don't know. I just kind of put that together in my head, but I always figured
possible.
Oh yeah, I always looked at it like he would be Coach K's replacement, or he would take like a storied program like UCLA, or you know what I'm saying, like they're like just a program like that. Like
he got offered, was it Indiana?
Yeah,
I think Indiana offered whoever just hired their black coach for like less than half. Yeah, for less than half of what he was gonna get. Yeah. But yeah, I can see him at Duke. I could, because Coach K ain't getting no young.
Yeah, he ain't got no more. Saw Roy Williams and stuff.
He already like 73, 74. He can't keep coaching much longer. So that'll be just fine for Brad.
That or either, and I think Coach K is getting ready to leave USA basketball alone as well. I think he's getting ready to move away from that too. So the signs are kind of there for Coach K to kind of step away from the game, and his counterpart Roy Williams just stepped away too. But UNC, North Carolina, ain't really won much of anything as of late. Over the last 2 years, they've been to a national championship recently, so I do have to give them that. So off coaches aside, the Western Conference matchup, which takes place Wednesday night, the 19th. We have somehow, some way, Gabe and them Spurs, man. Somehow, some way, them Spurs got into the situation. So the number 10 Spurs are going to be playing the number 9 Grizzlies, and the big matchup Wednesday night, Warriors versus Lakers. So, how you feeling? I had no clue. I didn't think the Spurs would make it. I thought the Pelicans would have slipped in there, but they fell out of it.
Well, Zion got hurt.
Yeah.
So that hurt their chances. Let's see. With that, I got the Spurs winning that game. I think they're gonna be able to. I think they'll control the pace better than Memphis can, and they got some veterans on their team that's kind of been in pressure situations before. As far as like DeRozan, Rudy Gay, those two they're gonna be leaning on to get them through this one game, because no matter who they play next, they gonna get mopped up.
Yeah, out of that.
So yeah, I got the Spurs winning that one. Then of course with the Lakers and Golden State, I got the Lakers. Now they have to do one or two things. Either they're gonna either get Steph in that pick and roll with LeBron and get to some switches, or they gotta go into the post and get Draymond fouled out, in foul trouble. Them the two ways they're gonna win, that they can make it easy on themselves to win that game. Because you get Steph in that switch, LeBron gonna eat them up all day. You get Draymond in foul trouble, they don't have nobody that can even stand or close to guarding Anthony Davis. So I got the Lakers easily if they do one of them two things.
I mean, I think that alone does it. You know what I'm saying? And even before we even get to switching the pick and roll switches, or even Draymond in foul trouble, the Warriors lose on the glass. They're not out rebounding the Lakers. They're not out rebounding the Lakers by no chance. They're not out rebounding Andre Drummond, Anthony, Braun, Montrez, Mark, Kyle. They're not. The Warriors are not out rebounding the Lakers at all. And so I think the Lakers do take it. I love how the networks, ESPN, they're really trying to gas this one up like it's the finals all over again, like it's 2016. But come on, like let's be realistic.
Come on, Clay not there. If Clay was there, it'll be that's a game.
Yeah,
but Andrew Wiggins and Draymond, it ain't enough.
It's not enough. And like you said earlier, you know what I'm saying? It's really just it's Steph, Draymond, and the homies like out there really just hooping. so really that's really just it. So Spurs, I'm rolling with the Spurs on that one just because they have a bit more experience. And I'm rolling with the Lakers because it's just way too much. And so that would bring us over into some of the historic seasons that we're having. Steph and Russ are having some just phenomenal years, and so go ahead and speak on that a bit.
Man, Steph put on the show. Like, he showed everybody why he was the two-time MVP. He ain't have his running mate with him this year. Still averaged 30. I'm pretty sure he made over 300 threes or whatever the number is. Again, second player since Jordan to average over 30 after being 33, which is crazy. And you just saw the totality of his game. It ain't just shooting threes. Yeah, that's the big part, but he does it off the dribble. He gets to the lane. He got the floater. He got mid range. He got off ball. And he was just pretty much dominant, especially knowing that he's the only one on the team who can score that like frequently and can go off like that, and was continually did it and put them on his back and got them to the play-in. So that just, to me, he solidified his spot as like I would say one of the three best point guards of all time. You can argue, he's either 2 or 3. He ain't number 1. Everybody know who number 1 is.
Magic.
Right. But he's either 2, he's second or third, however you want to flip that coin. And it was a lot of seasons. There was another point guard that went off this year, Russ, averaged another triple-double, and you finally see like he's finally getting the credit I say that he deserved. People always want to say he's stat chasing, stat pad. I'm like, you can't, like, it ain't, if it was that easy, everybody would have done it. But only one person's ever done it, and he's the only person that's done it more than 1 year.
Yeah.
He's done it, 3 in a row? 3 out of the last 4 years, he averaged a triple-double. That's insane to know that somebody can, like, do that at night. To do that night in and night out, that's a lot of energy. And that just show you the how special of a talent he is. And that, yeah, he makes some bonehead plays sometimes, but I would rather take somebody that's willing to, give it their all than somebody out there, just lollygagging around, just trying to get a check. He at least trying to get the fans a show, trying to win. So he's a competitor, and I like that about him. Another point guard, Kyrie. 50, 40, 90.
40, 90.
One of, I think he's only the
one of 5.
third or fourth, no, 5th player. Yeah, 1 of 5 players to ever do that in the season. I mean, he only played 54 games, but to have that type of to be that efficient as a guard is like, that's ridiculous. That just shows you he was on another level scoring wise and efficiency wise, and plus the fact that Harden missed those times, so he had to shoot a lot more. But so to still shoot 50%, and then the looks he get don't be clean looks because he's number one, he's little. Yeah, he's little and he's shooting from deep. So there don't be no clean looks. So to be that efficient, that just shows you the level that he was playing at. And it's just crazy that all those are point guards. Them just point guards, and they all played like at that elite level all season.
This is that point right there, like just saying point guards, like that goes into the category of where I really feel like we're in like the golden era of the point guard. Like we just spoke about Kyrie's 50, 40, 90 season, Russ breaking Oscar Robertson's triple-double record, and the continued success Russ has had since he's entered the league. The greatness that Steph has provided us with. You see other guards, you know what I'm saying? Donovan Mitchell is special. Chris Paul is special. Mike Conley is special. Dame Lillard is special. You know what I'm saying? Like you can just kind of go.
Then you got the young ones. You got LaMelo. You got Ja. You got Murray coming up. You got Luka. We forgot about him. He probably gonna be a face of the league. So.
Yeah. It's a special time, you know what I'm saying, in the league, and especially to be like a little person in the league, as Shaq would say, a little person. But it's definitely a special time, and this is definitely like one of those seasons where I hope people don't go back and just be like, oh, it's COVID season, and so they did such and such and such. Like, no, these gentlemen went out every single night, balled hard, and left their marks on those franchises altogether. So salute to Kyrie. on that special 50, 40, 90. Like you don't see that. Steph putting the team on his back and Russ doing Russ things. Like you just got to salute them all together. So I definitely do rock with that. And that brings us to the back end, pretty much where we just have some playoff injury concerns. Last night, Braun tweaked his ankle again in New Orleans in a game which he never should have been playing in the fourth quarter. I mean, look, he stepped on somebody's ankle like after a layup. The slow LeBron spin move to the cup, like, and you stepped on somebody's foot. And it's like, of course,
the sorriest, most effective move probably in the league right now. I hate that move, but it works so well because he's so big.
That would add like the hesitation, like whenever he's like looking at the ball, he pulls up for three.
Oh,
it's like,
my God. You see, he don't do that no more. I think he heard everybody talking about how trash that move was because it ain't no move. You just looking down and then shoot the ball.
Bro, I'm sure Bronny was like, "Yo, pops, like they are like flaming you online for this right here." But yeah, so Bron got hurt in the fourth quarter of the Pelicans game, the regular season finale, which he never should have been in. Anthony looks like he's in playoff form, coming back from that lower ankle, well, we'll call it ankle, Achilles, foot injury, whatever that was he had going on. So Anthony looks like he's kind of back to form. The Nets, their core, Kyrie, KD, James, they haven't really played together much at all this year. I think they've done about 7 games, 7 to 10 games altogether, I think, if memory serves correct. So it's going to be interesting to see what their dynamic and their lineups overall look like in the playoffs. The Celtics limped into the playoffs, losing Jaylen Brown. Kemba, once again, having some knee issues. So the Celtics, they literally like limped into the playoffs. I don't really trust them as they're missing enough firepower and defense. Philly, can Embiid stay healthy? You know what I'm saying? Throughout this full playoff run. And right. Utah with Mike Conley and Donovan Mitchell both being hurt as well. So it's some concerns there, especially out west. You can't get caught lacking. Cannot get caught lacking. So what you got for playoff injuries?
The biggest one is always gonna be the LeBron thing, because if he's not close to 100%, then I don't think the Lakers can win the championship. And that's mainly the difference in my opinion in who's gonna win the championship is LeBron's health. And then after that, you go to the East and you look at KD and you look at the Harden situation. Like, how is he back? How are they gonna gel? They rotation, they line up. So like that's a big factor because they ain't played that much together this year, and they got some kinks that they definitely needed to work out, especially with their rotation. And it just sucks for a team like Utah that the Donovan not gonna be fully healthy. So I really, they worked that hard to get the number 1 seed. People have been calling them frauds all year long. I'm guilty.
Me too.
Right, as I said, people. Well, let me rephrase that. I've been calling them frauds all year long, and it just sucks that they won't be 100% healthy, so we can actually see. Well, if maybe this might be a year. They could sneak them a championship in. It always happens. This could be what was it? Not 06, 11, 12, whatever Mavs team beat the Heat. This could be their season. Who knows? But those are pretty much the main injuries concern is pretty much Brooklyn with the major teams, Brooklyn, Philly, and the Lakers. And I also want to see Embiid because I haven't seen him in a minute. And I just want him to keep being that dominant force he's been all year. And hopefully they can reach the finals for the first time since 2001.
Yeah, most definitely. I'll be honest, the more I watch Philly, the more that I'm like interested in their squad. Like the more that I just kind of like check in, see what they got going on. It looks like Doc has really like brought balance to the full team, balance and accountability to the team. So that's going to be interesting to see how Philly really does going on throughout the rest of the year. And so everybody else, if you hurt, like Shaq says, man up. some icy hot on
Some icy.
it. And you know what I'm saying, figure it out from that point. But so that's pretty much it. Just, you know, like news going on around the league. We got the play-in that's starting off tomorrow night. Well, the night of the 18th, May 18th. And Eastern Conference is going to hold it down tomorrow night, the 18th. Western Conference is going to hold down the night of the 19th. And so just to kind of get into some of the fun stuff on the back end of the show, we got my man, J. Cole, made his professional basketball debut in the Basketball African League. The Rwanda Patriots is who he played for. He had a 3 points, 3 assists, 3 rebounds, something like that. So
he filled up the box sheet.
Stat sheet stuffer. I'm not mad at you. Drop an album, the
Russ
burning
Jr.
hoops. Then you go out, you go hoop. You know what I'm saying? Boys want to be Master P so bad. Like, I'm gonna just go ahead and say it. Like, boys want to be Percy real bad. And I'm not mad at it. You know what I'm saying? Because Percy is, you know, he one of the GOATs. But shout out to J. Cole for at least, you know what I'm saying, living out your dreams, literally. So
Cold world.
He definitely did it. Album is a smoker too. Like, I definitely rock with it. The 100 Mil is one of my favorite records. And of course that intro, 95 South, is like nuts as well. We got Jalen Rose and C Webb. They ended their beef. That's been There's been decades there. That all that beef started right there in New Orleans, right there in the Superdome, and from the timeout forward, it's been some issues. So, salute to those brothers for putting their issues aside. You know what I'm saying, and just just looking at the bigger picture. And my new favorite segment that we have here. And this is all Tevin's idea. I just want everybody to know this. Like, this is all Tevin's idea, and I love it. So I'm not even gonna lie. It's 5 minutes in a locker room, a 5-minute fade. All right,
got some good candidates this week.
A 5-minute fade. Who are the people rolling with? Jimmy Butler versus Karl Anthony Towns. I'm rolling with JB.
I'm gonna give it to Jimmy off rip, but you know, Towns been going through some things. You know, his mom passed. R.I.P. Mrs. Towns. So maybe he probably got some stuff built up in him that he needs to get off his chest. And if JB keep playing, he might be the one that take this 2-piece.
Yeah.
So, but I'm gonna give it to him. I'm gonna give it to Jimmy just off rip. But that reach though, that be making a difference. It do make a difference.
Ooh. I didn't even think about that. But I don't know. I'm rolling with JB. Houston, Texas, Tom Ball, outskirts. I'm pretty sure he's dealt with cattle and horses before. So if anybody can rock
the man
with
was
that,
homeless. The man was homeless before.
Yeah, and then he went from Texas to Wisconsin for school. Like, I don't know. I'm rolling with that dude. you know what I'm saying? 5 minutes, locker room. Udonis Haslem versus Dwight Howard. Who you got?
All right. If this was
pause if necessary. Like,
if this was 10 years ago, I'm definitely going with Haslem. But he's 40 now. When you hit 40 as a person who's not he's still a pro athlete, but he's not like a pro fighter. It's a difference between a pro fighter and a pro athlete hands wise at 40.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm still gonna go with Haslem because I think Dwight too stiff in the shoulders. You know what I'm saying? He ain't got that good shoulder work. Haslem be talking. And Haslem talking a good game too. He called KG out on some stuff too, and I'm like, oh, people just don't be calling people out like that in the media no more.
Unless
and
you
he called him out. So he must, yeah. So he must Haslem a Florida boy too. So he from the South. I think he could still throw them things, even though he up there in the age.
Carroll City. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm rolling with UD on that one as well. Anytime you check into the game, you know what I'm saying, you take offense to some things. Udonis Haslem, like, man, I'm an OG out here. You're not about to play with me. he told Dwight, "I will punch you dead in your fucking mouth. I will punch you dead in your fucking mouth." And he definitely gave him that little boy.
But Haslam keep playing. He forgot Dwight be on them. Dwight be on that bench press. He got that knockout power. So don't sleep. If Dwight catch him sleeping, he can hit him with one.
Yeah.
But I'm going with Haslam. He might got that good head movement. You know what I'm saying? To stay away from one of them knockout blows.
I'm rolling with Haslam. I think he has like too much like step up in him. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like he seen them punches coming, he gonna step. You know what I'm saying?
I think he practiced boxing too. I think he practiced fighting, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm rolling with him. I'm rolling with the 40-year-old. I'm rolling with the 40-year-old with the gray in the hell. I'm rolling with him. It's like that. That's just who it is. Bradley Beal versus is it Kent? Is it Kent Bazemore or is it Brent?
Kent Bazemore.
Kent.
Because you heard Bazemore came out talking some real heat about people trying to keep up with Steph and getting hurt because they're trying to keep up.
So petty. That was so petty. Like you didn't even have to say that.
I love it, but I love it.
I'm rolling with. I'm gonna roll with Brad. I'm gonna roll with Brad on this one. I can't do it. Like I don't even see enough of Bazemore on the floor to even know like if what is he like whenever it's an altercation? Like what's really happening? Like is he cool? Like is he the peacemaker? Is he trying to separate boys or is he in the mix? Like I don't know. I don't know enough. I don't see if he's on the floor enough. So I'm rolling with Brad. 5 minutes.
I'm taking Kent. I'm taking Kent in the upset. He a lefty. He got quick. He quick. He got some quick feet. So he might can get in and get out on Brad real quick. Even though Brad put together, he like a swole dude. Yeah. He a swole dude. But I think Bazemore with that left, you know, them lefties be tricky. I think Bazemore take him in a 5, and then he got that stamina too. He be running a lot.
Yeah, he be running the floor, boy. They definitely do that. They both got that Reggie and Ray up in them where they just run the floor all night. Like it's
all day.
Nuts. That's crazy. And a new one here that's just pretty much brewed up here in the last 48 hours or so.
Smoking hot off the press.
Hot off the press, hot off the internet streets. Like this is hot off the YouTube streets and Instagram streets. We got Kwame Brown versus Stack 5. I haven't seen the full interview yet, but evidently Gilbert Arenas, Agent Zero, went on All the Smoke. He had some things to say about Kwame Brown. Evidently, Kwame didn't like what Gil had to say, and now Kwame is calling out Stack, Matt, and Gil in a series of hands being thrown. I'm not going to repeat none of the things Kwame Brown said, but if y'all want to know what he said, y'all just going to have to go check it out. Check out the interview for yourself. That is crazy. Kwame versus Stack. Who you rolling with?
Before today, I ain't never heard of Kwame Brown ever say a word. I didn't know what he sounded like. I didn't know his temperament or none of that. I thought he was just a dude that played, got his money, and just was like, all right, I'm going home. But after hearing him talk, I'm like, this man, he about that business. He about the business of putting hands on folk. I don't care what nobody say. He couldn't. As an NBA hooper, he wasn't the best NBA ball player. But from hearing him talk and hearing what the stories he telling, he sounds like somebody who let his hands do the talking. So and we know Steven Jackson rep. We seen it on film. You know, he throw them things too, but Kwame that country strong. Kwame that country strong. Plus he about 3 inches taller, about 60, 70 pounds heavier.
Yeah. Real talk.
He might wipe the floor with Captain Jack. And that's my man.
I hate to say it too, but dog, listen. I'm gonna put it to y'all like this. I saw Kwame's response video that was floating around on the timeline today. Any man that is in a short sleeve, button-up plaid shirt, smoking hookah with the key to the city behind him, you leave that man alone. You leave that man alone, because he sounds like somebody that's been ready to put hands on both of them quite some time.
Or anybody who been talking crazy about him.
Yeah,
because he had some words for Stephen A. in there too.
Oh yeah, where's this? I didn't see that. See,
he said something about Stephen A.
Oh man, and well, yeah, Stephen A. He been picking at Kwame for years, so I mean, I understand that one. But listen, man, y'all leave that man Kwame Brown alone. He made his cheddar. He's staying up out of people's way. 5 minutes, lock the door. I'm rolling with Kwame. Like,
that size and that weight. There's too much weight and size. That make a big difference in the fight.
Yes, and like you say, if you don't ever hear somebody talk, and how he had what an 8-year, 10-year career in the league.
He played at least 10 years. Yeah. At least 10. It probably was closer to 12 to 15, honestly. Yeah.
So anybody that's played that amount of time in the league for those multiple teams, you staying in the league for a reason. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, he from South Carolina. He been outside. Like he been outside. Like it's a different type of outside out there in South Carolina. So right. I'm rolling with that man. Like that's in the him. I'm sure his knuckles are ashy right now. Like I'm rolling with that thing.
Knuckles ashy, nails dirty, boots brown.
And one of the boots got a hole in them. I'm rolling with him.
Steel toe boots.
Yeah. Like leave that man alone. Leave that man alone. Mm-hmm. And so that's it for the 5 minute locked door session. 5 minute fade. So and 5 minute fade is hilarious because listen, like 30 seconds in a fight is long enough. Like
too long.
So 5 minutes, man. You definitely, you know what I'm saying. That's just like you lock the door. Whoever walk out, they walk out first. And so just let that be that. And so that's pretty much just the end of the show here. This episode here. Everybody keep in mind that the NBA playoffs, they officially tip off on May 22nd. That is this upcoming Saturday that the NBA playoffs will tip off. We'll know a bit more about final matchups come the night of the 21st when the play-in games conclude. So right now, we don't know. We have our favorites of who we think would actually take home the ship. But I guess we'll know who has the easiest or the hardest path to grabbing that trophy there. And so, T, you got anything before we wrap it up?
Not too much, man. Just appreciate you for having me again. I'm out here in Lafayette working with the baseball team. So if anybody's in the Lafayette area, Baton Rouge area, you want to see some good quality college baseball, come out to Fallbacker Field. Our season starts June 8th. First home game. We got 5 home games in a row. So June 8th through June 12th. Pull up, get your tickets, come see some good baseball, bring the family, friends, whoever else, invite them. And that's all I'm going to be doing this summer, man. And yeah, just ready to do this again once the playoffs start.
Most def. I know COVID kind of cut some things short last time out. So, you know what I'm saying? Just hopefully this one, we get a chance to really just see it all the way through. But nonetheless, yeah, y'all make sure y'all go check out them baseball games out there in the Lafayette area. I know I'm gonna be out there. I'll be out there, it's kind of like a second home for me. So I'll be out there to come check it out, see what's going on down there. And so y'all keep in mind the hat store remains open, finesseandsense93.com. And so yeah, until next time, y'all, thank y'all for checking out the Perspective Podcast. Send it to your auntie, send it to your uncle, send it to your cousin. Listen to it while you're working on the car, washing the car. Don't matter what you're doing. Just make sure you share it with a homie or a friend or somebody. This podcast is available on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, just wherever you want to find some audio content, you can find us as well. And so just like the late, great Nipsey Hussle would say, the marathon continues. And until the next time, y'all, peace.
Proceed to presidentially blow up. I'm switching lanes and sipping, drink the music up. My speakers bang, she knows the fuck I hit the blunt and I forgot.